Alright guys, what is going on today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk about the Boruto canon episodes. Now, I'll admit, I stopped watching and then I let the episodes add up and I just watched all of them back to back. So I watched episode 234, 235, and 236. And I'm not gonna lie, I liked episode 236 better than 234 and 235. Even the animation in episode 236, in my opinion, was much better than 234 and 235. I do know there's a different studio working on the animation, but watching episode 236, it actually feels like there's more emotion and characteristics and personality behind the characters. Like, even looking at their eyes, you can see when a character is in actual distress rather than having simple animation. For example, Kawaki, Buntan, Mitsuki, Sarada, like you could see they're being affected and it showed. Rather than the last two episodes, it felt really bland. I know animating is hard, I know it's not easy, you know, but I'm just saying, I know the anime is weekly, but that's not an excuse. There's been tons of other animes in the past that were weekly and they still had good animation. Though I'm not going to judge the whole arc based on those two episodes. I liked episode 236 and it looked pretty good. Now, I might butcher some of the names, I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to go over a rundown of the episodes from 234 to 236. So episode 234 basically went around Lord Arumi. So that was the guy in the basement who was all locked up and, you know, he couldn't use anything and he was being drained. His son, Isari, came and saved him. Now, I'm not gonna lie, with Isari, I was expecting more of a character, but he looks pretty so far. Though we don't know his powers yet, we still gotta get on more into the arc. He looked pretty bland fighting Kagura and Boruto. Though his sword, I'm not gonna lie, that sword, bro, don't get me started on that. Like, my man has a freaking swordfish as a sword, bro. Like, they took the literal definition of a swordfish and my G's rolling with that, bruh. On top of that, that thing absorbs powers and shit, bro. Like, at this point, everything's absorbing chakra, man. But that's alright, whatever, I understand. It's similar to Kisame's Samehara. But anyways, in that episode, it revolved right around the events that happened in episode 233 where the ship went down and basically Isari attacked the prison with Boruto and Kagura there. So then Boruto and Kagura got washed away and basically the guy saves his dad. Now, what I want to talk about is Lord Arumi. Now, this is a spoiler. Please skip 1 minute if you don't want to be spoiled for the manga. Basically, if you look at Lord Arumi, he is Boruto. What I mean by that is, if you look at his body, he has a cut on the right eye and then he has an X right in the chest to the stomach. And guess what happens in chapter 66? Our boy Boruto got stabbed through the chest. So I think this guy foreshadows Boruto to how he might look in the future, or is hinting at him. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but think about it. Somebody was telling me as well in the comments that the pod that he is trapped in looks like the jougan. Look really carefully at this and it does look like the jougan, and maybe if this character is like Boruto, it's foreshadowing what happens to Boruto, it could make sense and why they're giving these small hints. So that's why I think maybe, you know, this guy has something to do with Boruto. Like I said, it's a far stretch, don't think too much into it. Though I don't believe anything's a coincidence. Even in the canon filler episodes or whatever it is, there's always something to do with the manga content or overall story. There's always some foreshadowing and connecting the dots between the anime and the manga. But anyways, they rescue Lord Arumi and then basically Boruto ends up going back with Sarada and them, and Kagura then gets the 7 new swordsmen, which there are only 3 of them there right now. They basically help them out and go fight the pirates, which goes on to episode 235, which is infiltrating Doto Island. Now, this episode was sick with Mitsuki and Sarada, the way they infiltrate Doto Island and they actually get around, and it actually shows the teamwork of Sarada and Mitsuki, which is pretty good in my opinion, not gonna lie. Even without Boruto and Kawaki there, which is their 4-man team, they ran pretty good together. So then they found Denki, Iwabe, and Metal. They basically join up with them, and you have Denki's robot. Now, I'm not gonna lie, yo, that robot thing reminds me of the waffle bot from Harold and Kumar. So yeah, that robot thing shot his stuff all over Sarada's face. Now, that's a talk for another day. I'm gonna leave it there. So then basically, while Sarada and Mitsuki are finding Denki and them, the ship slowly moves away towards the fortress. And basically that's the fortress of the Funato soldiers. And that's it for episode 235. Then episode 236, like I said, I like this episode. They actually showed a lot of good stuff in terms of animation and the story. So basically Kagura and Heavy Ichigo, those two infiltrate together, and Kawaki, Buntan, and Boruto infiltrate on their own. I'm not gonna lie, what got me was that when Boruto tried infiltrating, man used, you know, the Gil Palm, and then Kawaki shot at him. Bro, when he shot at him, did it not make noise that these guys are sneaking in? Like, that blast was pretty loud. I'm surprised other people did not hear that shit and be like, yo, where the hell is that noise coming from? But it's anime, I'm not going on with the logic there. So then they 3 successfully infiltrate. Now, this is just an idea, but I think Buntan actually might become friends with Boruto, Sarada, and Kawaki. Though Mitsuki, I'm a 50-50 with. She was kind of fighting back and forth with Sarada at first, and then in this episode, she started following Boruto's lead. And then she heals Kawaki after he had motion sickness. She used some ancient healing thing apparently that healed his motion sickness. So now Kawaki's good to go. So I think Buntan is actually switching over to the good side, and I think she was just following bad orders, and basically that led her down the dark path. The one thing that got me, which was back in episode 235, was when Kagura and Boruto were talking. Now this relates to Buntan and Boruto. Kagura is saying that people can fall down the path of evil even for the smallest reasons, and he refers to himself as he did back in the school trip arc when he started following Shizuma's orders, and he ends up becoming more on the dark side until he met Boruto, and Boruto basically taught him the ways. He's like, yo, no need to follow bad orders and this and that. And what Kagura is actually saying to Boruto is that if it wasn't for Boruto, he would probably fallen down an even darker path. Basically, Boruto helped him return back to the light. Now this is why Kagura is actually helping Buntan, just like how Boruto helped Kagura. And what's weird is the way he says it to Boruto. He's like, people who fall down a dark path can still be saved by someone. In Kagura's turn, Boruto saved him, and in Buntan and the other guy's turn, Kagura's gonna save them. So then could this be a foreshadow to Boruto or Kawaki, either one that falls to the darkness in the future, somebody saves them? I think it's a possibility, especially with the events that happened during chapter 66. I think Boruto can fall to the darkness even for the smallest reasons. Though that's just a simple idea, don't think too much on it. Like I said before, there's a lot of back and forth with the anime and the manga. There's a lot of foreshadowing in the anime that they do that happens in the manga, or that they hint certain things. So anyways, heading back into episode 236, there's one character that caught my attention, Tenma. Now, he has a special team of his own people, and apparently they're ruthless killers and they're all powerful and everything. And he is Isari's younger brother, along with the son of Lord Arumi. So that's the guy in the basement, and then the orange-haired guy that we've seen earlier, that's his brother. So before I get on to him, what's weird to me is the symbol on his back. One thing I noticed that if you look at Isari's back, he has just one horn and one dot, which looks like Ishiki, while these guys have a different symbol. Now I'm not gonna lie, when I first seen Isari, I thought maybe he had something to do with Kara. He could have been an outer member or something, which I still think is a possibility, since they say Kara funds a lot of people. They fund organizations, whatever they are, so that those people could help Kara in the end. So it could have been a possibility that Kara actually funded the Funato pirates, and that's how they actually got bigger over time. Anyways, heading back into Tenma, I think Tenma is going to be a character just like Deepa. He's going to be pretty strong, and I think he's probably going to be even stronger than his brother, because the other bootleg pirate, he says that, yo, you have the strength to take over the family. You're basically stronger than your brother. So I think this guy is going to be the one who fights Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki. Though I'm not too much on Kawaki. I think Kawaki will help, but I think it's going to be the trio. And maybe because of this person, we might see Sarada awaken her 3 tomo. Now, I do think the 3 tomo is around the corner because of that weird symbol we've seen on Buntan's neck. Now, I know it's a seal, it looks similar to the curse mark, but it has 3 tomos roughly to it. Or it looks like a Sharingan in a way. So I think it could be a hint that Sarada may be getting a 3 tomo sometime soon in the future. And I think it might be fighting this guy. So I want to see how it plays out. I want to see this guy basically whoop Team 7 and they come back stronger and then beat them. So what I think is going to happen is there's 3 enemies, and those 3 enemies are Arumi, Isari, and Tenma. Now what's going to happen is, since there's Boruto and all them along with Team 5, I think those 3 enemies are going to have 3 teams fighting them, and this will relate to Kawaki. I do believe that Kawaki is going to fight alongside the other guys rather than fight alongside Team 7, and I think that's going to build more on his character in terms of fighting with other people. I think he's going to fight with Buntan and the other 2 swordsmen, and basically that's going to be Kawaki's little team. As for Boruto, Mitsuki, and Sarada, they're going to fight one enemy on their own. Denki and them are going to fight somebody else on their own. Like I said, I think that would work more towards Kawaki's character, because then he would learn to work with others, because his whole arc kind of revolves around Kawaki and him learning teamwork, and this is a good opportunity for him to learn teamwork, working with people outside of the people he knows, because Naruto put Kawaki on Boruto's team since he works easy with them, but this is a good chance for Kawaki to actually learn with other teams and work with other people. So we'll see how that happens. Now one thing I want to add that I liked about episode 236 is when Sarada used her Sharingan and did a Genjutsu. I haven't seen the Genjutsu in some time, but the last time we seen it was when Sarada fought Buntan back in the school trip arc, and then she used it back in the Mitsuki arc, and then I haven't seen her use it much again later, and now this is the first time she used it with a 2 tomo. But I like how she did that, and to me the anime didn't forget that she has a Sharingan and that she can use Genjutsu, so it was nice seeing that again. Anyways, this is my analysis and everything for episode 234, 235, and 236. I just want to talk about the anime canon stuff. I don't know how we're gonna go on in the future. I think the episodes are building up nicely. nicely, though the animation is a bit funky here and there. But the studio who worked on episode 236, I'm not sure if they were the same as 234 and 235, but 236 in my opinion they did pretty good. So let's see how it goes in the future. If they are gonna close this arc soon, that means they're getting close to the final fight, maybe in the next 5-10 episodes or so, and they'll give enough time for the manga to go on ahead a bit, since I do believe chapter 67 is going to be something really big. So if chapter 67 is something really big, then most likely they might end this arc soon and maybe do a Sarada 3 Tomo arc afterwards to give it a bit more time, then get back into the manga material. But anyways, this is what I think. So thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos to come.